And we're live. Greetings, friends. Happy Saturday. Let's try that again, shall we? Stream crashed, but the stream crashed really early, which I would rather do than have it crash in the middle. So give me a second. Sadie's here. Sadie will keep you entertained. She will tell everyone to like and subscribe while I do a little I need to update the thumbnail and make sure this is monetized. Make sure you guys see some commercials. And I apologize for that, but it's necessary. It is a necessary evil. Here we go. Okay. We have a thumbnail and we have monetization. Monetization is a go. What's that about? So, what was I saying? Worked on the PS5 all day long, all the live long day. It was Cloudy's here. Cloudy says, "Howdy, y'all. Greetings, Cloudy." We crashed and we came back, and so now we're live, and we're live. Happy Saturday, everyone. Welcome back to the Last of Us first playthrough. Technically the last of Us playthrough on PS4, because we will upgrade to PS5 next week. And let me tell you, the difference between the PS5 and the PS4 is night and day. It's beautiful. You cannot imagine how beautiful this game looks on PS5. Mama 1 and Papa 1 are back, and they say, "Hey, Cloudy." I apologize, Mama 1 and Papa 1. We had technical difficulties, but we're back. Sadie's here. Yeah, just fooling around with the PS5 all day, getting content. The difference between PS4 and PS5 in Red Dead Redemption 2 is more subtle. It's not so dramatic, but as this game. But this game got a complete reskin. And you cannot imagine how beautiful it looks. Cloudy says, "I clicked to watch the stream, came back from the bathroom, and I saw Bobby Lee talking about Ghost." LOL. Bobby Lee's funny. He's had an interesting life. Papa One says, "That was a new record crash. The algorithm has possibly made Super Antonio public enemy #1. Well, I think that was in response to last night, Papa One. The algorithm got us. This is the subway fight, which is... no, actually, we're not in the subway. We're still in an office building. We haven't gotten there yet. But we will. Actually, no, this is the start of the subway. This is fun. Wasn't fun first playthrough. Don't Lord says, "Guess who's back?" Back again.
From the quarantine zone.
There's a bunch of clickers down here. And regrettably, this first playthrough we die a lot. But yeah, I did I started working on the new PS5 playthrough. We're going to start all over again. And you cannot imagine how much fun we're going to have. Miko Herptile is here and says, "Host Super Antonio, Sadie, Cloudy, Mama 1, Papa 1, and Donut Lord." Mama 1 says, "Hey, Miko." Greetings, Miko. Glad you're here. Just in time. We crashed, but we're back. And hopefully the rest of the stream will continue unencumbered. Yeah, everything's underpowered. The irony is the new Joel on the PS5 is he's just as underpowered as this one. They're technically both first playthroughs, except this is a real first playthrough because I had no idea what I was doing. And the PS5 playthrough is after I've played the game 7 or 8 times. I got this Joel completely maxed out. I got his weapons completely upgraded. And then we got the PS5, and it was time to move on. Papa One says, I've been meaning to ask, what exactly is Sadie's potent canine bait? It is. I will show you. Okay. It is peanut butter and banana crunchy treat. And I hardly ever give her a full one. I'll give her one in the morning after her morning pee, just to reward her for being good all night. But usually I'll like cut these up into or like tear these up into like 6 or 8 pieces. She knows I'm talking about her. But yeah, she loves peanut butter. She loves banana. What's not to love? It smells like a peanut butter cookie. I do love peanut butter cookies. And I've never tasted it. My nephew tried one once, which I thought was really funny. And he said it doesn't taste like a peanut butter cookie. Donut Lord says, how long do you think it took Charles to get Arthur's body? Also, how long do you think it took to bury Sean? Also, wish you could rob bands in Red Dead Redemption 2. Cloudy says, Joe in the remake looks young, and in the remaster he looks old. You can rob one bank if you get the Ultimate Edition, Donut Lord. Yeah, the world looks good. The people, the people look more realistic. Let's put it that way. I think you get a little bit of a downgrade with Ellie. She looks more like a regular 14-year-old. She's not as cute. She's not an Ellie Chan. Same with Tess. Haven't seen Bill. Wonder what Bill looks like. But I'm loving the mechanics, the fight mechanics. We're gonna have so much fun. And here, we better give her a treat. Papa One says, I remember in one of the lethal weapons, Riggs starts chewing dog biscuits to help him quit smoking. He apparently takes a liking to them and starts being addicted to those. Well, what are you going to do, Riggs? Mel Gibson had an interesting career, but it's not over. See, you really can't. Tess will help in these first missions. And I'm grateful for it, but these days we don't need Tess's help. But here I really had no idea what I was doing. These clickers are blind. They use echolocation, so you have to sneak up on him and stab him in the neck. That's the easiest way until you upgrade your weapons. Weapons are pretty much useless on him. Takes a bunch of rounds to get these things to go down if your weapons aren't upgraded. But you can take care of him pretty efficiently. Also, there's a safe in here that we missed with a bunch of supplies. There's a bunch of stuff in here. Like any video game, the more guarded a place is, the more enemies there, the more rewards are there, which is nice. It's a nice rule for that I think exists in all video games. Cloudy says, Ellie in the remake looks straight from Disney. Well, Cloudy, we got into a whole conversation last night about how the left has decided that beauty is unattractive and being an uggo is attractive. But that's probably what made the stream crash tonight. This is our exit. This clicker is guarding the exit. Also, note, Papa One, he's got body armor on because he's a cop or a soldier or something, or SWAT member. So, and then the head, you know, that mushroom head stuff that he's got on there, that's armor. That's hard. So he's like, it takes a lot of bullets to take him down. The easiest is to get close and stab him in the neck or hit him with a fire bottle. We got some free fire bottles and unlocked fire bottle crafting, which Joel will not do because he really doesn't know what he's doing right now. Pop One says they're going to hire someone just to crash these streams, especially if we talk about Disney. LOL. Yeah, I had such high hopes with Disney when they bought Marvel. I did. I bought like 10 shares of their stock and got a nice little bump. But they did horrible things with it, with the franchise. Well, or great things, depending on if you like losing money. So yeah, we don't know what we're doing right now. But hey, free Shiv. We're back where we started. There. See? He's law enforcement, so he had ammo. But not everyone has like supplies, which is annoying. You get a flamethrower later, Papa One. You'll be very happy to know. And some of the bosses that you defeat will have like flamethrower canisters, which is ironic because you need the flamethrower to destroy them. So you think the canister would have been destroyed as well. And you would be mistaken. That's one thing that I like about a certain game with the initials RDR2 is if you use a fire bottle or if you if you dynamite someone, you've got a good chance of destroying whatever they were carrying, so you're not able to loot them, and that seems fair to me. But they don't do that in this game. Don't Lord, I have played Ghost of Tsushima, and they do have a PS5 upgrade. However, it didn't do well on the second channel. I don't know how well it would do on this channel. Right now we're just right now I am obsessed with this game, The Last of Us. So we're going to be playing this one over and over and over and getting better and better and better at it. Then Sundays I'm thinking about Stellar Blade and Silent Hill and Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil 4 was on sale. It was $19, Mama One. And then there's a Stray Cat game called Stray that is very charming. Also the PS5 upgrade for Cyberpunk 2077 might be interesting. But it is first person, and I do dislike first person a lot. Mama One says, I liked your Ghost of Tsushima playthrough. It's a unique game. It's a beautiful game as well, with very accurate combat. Mama One says, Resident Evil 4 was a great game. It's on sale on Amazon right now, as we speak. There's no reason to throw a brick at any of these guys. It won't do anything. But the cool thing is, they're not, you know, they're attracted to sound. They can't see you. Papa One says, I've honestly liked all your playthroughs. Thank you, Papa One. My favorite's are Red Dead Redemption 2, obviously. And I actually really loved L.A. Noire. I loved the time period. I did too. That would make a great PS5 reskin, L.A. Noire. They'd never do it. They're completely focused on Grand Theft Auto 6, and now that they pushed it back a year, see, we snuck through. We didn't defeat, you know, we still left a bunch of those guys alive. But if you sneak through and take out the one that's guarding that ladder, you're allowed to move on. But lately, in my later playthroughs, I enjoy taking them all out. Papa One says, plus you drive just like Mama One. Don't tell Abigail. And don't tell Mama One.
Yes. Let's move. You guys are pretty good at this stuff.
It's called luck. And it is.
Yeah, PS5 Arthur. He loads up faster. And, well, you know, I have a short that's coming out tonight or at midnight. So that was done on the PS5, and you can see how that looks. But you know, the differences are very subtle.
Let's see what we can find.
And just don't walk in there. There's people in there. There's infected in there. But as always, there's stuff in there as well. Mama One says, things just happen to get in your way when you drive. Like somehow a car or deer just ends up underneath my car. Yeah, they do that on purpose. Cloudy says, did you have any jump scares in The Last of Us? So many, Cloudy. But that's because we were sneaking in and we weren't sneaking in. We were like just barging in. We didn't really know what we were doing. And Tess dies, so we have to start over again. Let's try that again, shall we? And we didn't know where anyone was. So you can't just like run into a place. You know, you have to listen first. That's an interesting question, Donut Lord. What is your favorite holster in Red Dead Redemption 2? I don't know, maybe the Gambler or the Sharpshooter. It would have to be a Trapper holster, of course. Papa One says, I think the runners caught you off guard in this gameplay. Yeah, they come out of nowhere. They're relatively easy to cancel, though. We get the hang of it in the later playthroughs, but this is the last you're going to see of this one because we're going to move on to the PS5. See, look at that. That's what's left of her treat. I keep cutting it up. Papa One says, I hope your aim is better in real life, Super Antonio. I hope so as well. But this isn't me. This is Joel. This is one of the standard things. Anytime you see a dumpster, you should see if you can move it. The game usually wants you to move it.
Climb on up.
Wait for the girls to catch up. Then we can move on to the next cutscene. The lighting's better also in on the PS5 version.
They're coming.
I know.
Okay, that's good, go.
Cloudy says, I got jump scared in the dark room when Joel falls from the elevator. Gosh darn stalkers. Something similar happens to Ellie when she meets that creepy cannibal guy. What's his name? Peter?
Get out of this place.
When she's taking care of Joel. Spoiler alert.
Well, that's what she believes.
Well, how were you bitten?
Yeah, later in the game you have to play as Ellie.
Yeah.
And
I'd sneak out.
that, you know, really helps improve your stealth skills because that's about all she can do
You know, explore the city. I was in the mall when I ran into
is sneak up.
That place is completely off limits. How the hell did you
But if you've been paying attention,
Anyways,
she'll be a pretty good shot by then.
runners bit me. That was that.
Mama One says, Cloudy, if they are anything like Resident Evil 7's, I would panic shoot so many times.
knowing her, I'm surprised she didn't shoot you.
She almost did. Hope she's all right.
I told you. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah, I've done that in this game. Got some of these yeah, Joel is he's completely maxed out, but here he isn't at all. And also I didn't know what we were doing in terms of upgrades. First upgrade you need to get and it's also a very expensive upgrade, is a holster. Because the holster allows you to switch back and forth with between the revolver and the 9mm, and that's very convenient. And then you get a holster for the long guns, and then you can start upgrading. Cloudy, I love the Resident Evil games. I do think I love this game more, but I have a warm, sentimental spot in my heart for all the Resident Evil games and all the characters. Jill, of course, I love Jill. Claire, Leon, Chris. Yeah, love those games. Mom says, I love how Joel just trusts random medicines. Yeah, he needs them. It's the apocalypse. Just grab it. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here that we're not going to really get, that we need to get.
I'm alive.
But again, just like my first playthrough of Red Dead Redemption 2, at some point I just got invested in the story and just wanted to finish the story. And
Tess.
and I stopped worrying about upgrades and strategy and collectibles and collecting things. All the things we need.
Tess. Tess. Shit.
See, he just passed up a bunch of supplies. Anything behind a shiv door, very valuable. It's worth wasting on a shiv on it. Oh, I saw someone made a music video, California Dreamin' by the Mamas and the Papas, which is featured in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Speaking of favorite songs in Red Dead Redemption 2. And so they made a music video, but using scenes from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And it worked so well. I was really impressed with it. And I kind of want to do something similar with Red Dead Redemption 2. So, yeah, I'm thinking about it. I'm working on it in terms of I'm thinking about it, but haven't done anything yet. Gotta save Ellie. Or we can just get bit in the neck. The haptic feedback on the new PS5 controller is a lot of fun. However, now that we have to, I set it up on the bedroom TV so we could, enjoy the full 4K and also make 4K videos. When we get in bed, okay, she likes to curl up on my side here, and she'll put her head here. And so that's what she'll do. And when we watch TV, and she thinks the video game is just TV that we're watching. Okay, so she'll get into that TV position. She'll fall asleep that way. I'm watching TV, and if I look down, she's just watching me if she isn't asleep. But it's like usually I'll play a video game like this with the controller on my lap. But because she's here, I can't really stretch out, so I'm playing more like this. Like I'm holding the controller closer, and I'm resting it on top of her, on her back. And, haptic feedback, the controller vibrates, and she does not like that one bit. Wakes her up every time. She's like, "What's that on my back?" So we need to find some new positions. Cloudy says, I was going to watch that movie, but I watched Moneyball starring Brad Pitt. Have you seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Cloudy? I just watched it, I think, last month and kind of want to watch it again. And Don't Lord says, do you wish you could get the native saddles from my last boy? Haven't really given it much thought. I'm pretty happy with the saddles in the game as they are. You've got a bunch from the Trapper. Just talk to the Trapper. He's got something. Mom once says we are going to watch Flight with Denzel Washington after this. Has anyone seen it? It's free on YouTube. I have not. I did watch his Equalizer movies, and I like Denzel. I like his voice. He's got a very sonorous voice. Danny DeVito's in the chat. Loved you in Always Sunny. Says, when are we making a group? Well, we are in a group, Danny DeVito. We are in a group of Last of Us group. Appreciate you being here.
Come on, this way.
Thanks for subscribing.
Hey, pick it up.
This is the last PS4. Cloudy says, I've only seen clips of Bruce Lee. I've got problems with that. It's like
Stay focused.
Yes, ma'am.
I would consider myself a Bruce Lee scholar. Okay. I know a lot about Bruce Lee. It's like I've read a lot of bios. I've seen all his movies. I don't have a problem with the scene. I think it's funny. I think it's charming. I think it's respectful.
Right around this corner.
Um,
Come on.
I have a problem with his hair
Keep moving, kid.
because he wasn't wearing his hair like that in 1968. That's more, he was wearing his hair like that in like 1972. Don't worry, I got more for you. This is because the stream crashed, so hold on. So the hair's wrong. The hair's all wrong. But, that's okay. It's a great movie. Papa One says, has anyone heard from Callum lately? I hope he is well. I would assume, Papa One, that he is distracted by young love. And he's having fun, enjoying life. But I'm sure
Look at this.
he's thinking of you as well.
On his arm. What if we get there and they're all dead?
They won't be.
But how do you know?
I just do. Look, it's gonna be fine.
Okay.
Just like The Walking Dead, the humans are the real enemies in this game, which is interesting. Once you get used to the infected, the clickers and the runners and the bloaters, which you haven't seen a bloater yet, those guys are horrible. Once you get used to all those guys, the real, there's marauders, there's cannibals, just like the Skinner brothers, and the Fireflies. And they're the real problems. Also interesting about this game is it keeps you moving forward. We can't go backwards now.
Home stretch.
Like once we get over that, once we clear that alley, we can only go forward. But you really should be like looking in all the corners for supplies.
Out there, I can't swim.
Look, it looks like it's shallow on the right side. Follow me.
I'm glad Marlene hired you guys.
Don't Lord, I have not. Have you ever heard of All Tomorrows in North Sentinel Island? I have not. So the original mission was to drop her off to a Firefly team in the Capitol building. That's not going to go as planned. Spoiler alert.
No. No, no, no.
What happens now?
What are you doing, Tess?
Maybe they had a map or something to tell
Yeah,
us
Ellie
where
is
we're going.
way cuter in this version,
Gonna take this.
but I'll allow it because the
Where
world
was this lab of theirs?
is way more beautiful
Never said
in the
she was
PS5
only
version.
mentioned that it was someplace out west.
Pop-Boy One says, Ellie can't swim. Yes.
Not us.
Joel needs to just throw her in so she can learn. That's how it was done when I was a kid.
Smarter than this.
They talk about that later when they're finally starting to bond.
We are survivors.
Ellie says, maybe when all of this is over, you can teach me how to swim. And I think that's really charming that they would,
Go home.
I'm not
that they make future plans. And Joel agrees, yeah, we got to do that.
my last stop.
Cloudy says, Super Antonio, you think you can survive in the Last of Us universe? Absolutely not.
Going on
No, don't
What are you talking about?
touch me.
It's like I'm gone once she's gone. Yeah, it's like no access to hot running water. What about coffee?
Let me see.
I didn't mean
Show it to me.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't think I would make it. I don't think I'd make it past the
right?
past the initial infection.
Give me your arm.
Papa One would, and Mama One would.
This was 3 weeks. I was bitten
Cloudy
an
says he
hour,
does
and
throw her in
this
part 2.
is fucking real, Joel.
Yeah, but part 2 completely destroys
Tommies, we used to run with this crew.
all the hard work and beauty of part 1.
I am not doing that.
Yes, you are. Look,
Papa One says, watch John Wayne's Hondo when the little boy can't swim. He just picks him up and throws him in the water. When the boy's mother says she can't swim either, he gives her a smile and she takes off running. That's the Duke for you. Okay, Tessa's been
Want us to
bitten.
just leave you
She's
here?
infected,
Yes.
so she's going to do a last stand
Turn into one of
and
those things.
make Joel promise to take Ellie to the next drop-off
It's easy for
point
me.
because Ellie is the savior of the universe.
Go.
Mom wants his farm life for the win in the apocalypse. Farm life for the win in life, Mama One. You don't have to wait for the apocalypse. And technically, if you
You're
look
the
at
mood for this.
video footage of Los Angeles street life or Seattle street life or New York street life, basically any Democrat-run city, you would think that we are already in the apocalypse. Mom wants his rest in peace, Tess. We don't really see her get canceled, but we hear it. Hold on, I got more for you. I got it.
Oh man.
There you go. Okay, now this is good because we pick up a bolt action.
Upstairs.
Good old Bolty. And he's going to teach Ellie how to use it later. And that's a very charming scene.
Took out 2 of my men. Copy that.
All we have to do is sneak by these guys. See, Tess would take the lead in the early missions, but now we have to take the lead. Ellie will not like help you. Ellie will help you a little, like she'll fight, but
They're gonna be here soon.
she's not going to tell you where to go. You've got to figure it out. Jump, Joel. You can do it. I swear you can do it. Grab those supplies, please. There's some medicine, Mama One. Oh, Mama One and Papa One. This week, I don't have any news from the subway, the New York this week, but I do have news from Haiti. And I kind of thought of you, Mama One. Here's Bolty. Because in Haiti, they are eating dirt crackers. They call them dirt cookies, and it looks like it's a very fine, consistent the consistency of this dirt, this soil. It's very fine. It's more like a clay or it's like and pretty much all they do is like mix it with water and spoon it on the ground and just let it dry in the sun. And they sell these little dirt cookies for like a nickel a piece. No nutritional value at all, but that's what they're eating in Haiti. When they're not eating people, they're doing that also. The warlords are. But you're not really supposed to talk about it because it's supposed to be racist to talk about it. But I'm talking about it. Sorry, algorithm. Joel really needs a health item. We can't see, he's still trying to charge up like Arthur. So with these guys who are wearing body armor, the best, it takes a bunch of hits to take him down. The best thing to do is shoot him in the leg. Just aim low, even in the foot, because that'll take him down. Papa One says, no offense to Haiti, but I'll take a hard pass. Well, it used to be a French colony, I think until the 50s, and they ran pretty well back then. But now it's like, speaking of post-apocalypse, that's what it's devolved into. One thing, if I don't do it enough, because I like throwing the brick. But you can melee with a brick, holding a brick, and that's pretty much a one-shot K. But also a one use. The brick crumbles immediately, much like one of those dirt cookies from Haiti. I apologize, algorithm. That wasn't funny. It was. It made me laugh. And I prefer bricks to bottles. Papa One says, that's what happens when you have Voodoo and Papa Doc running the joint. Yeah, they have warlords. They have cannibal warlords and Voodoo. And the people are eating dirt. Peter Walsdorf says, good evening, everyone. But I prefer American news. Papa One, if I'm going to report on the news. But nothing really happened.
What are we doing? Joel, how are we gonna get out of here?
Well, a bunch happened,
We're gonna go through that hall.
but we can't really talk about it.
Stay down. I don't know how many more there are.
Peter Walsdorf says, hey, Mama One and Papa One. Greetings, Peter. Peter says, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you, friend. We got the PS4, PS5 all set up. This is a PS4 playthrough. You will be so impressed with the PS5 reskin of this game. It's beautiful. It's the Last of Us Part 2 world and AI and combat mechanics without the Last of Us 2 politics and LGBT references. Papa One says, hey Peter, how are you? And speaking of LGBT, I got that from Sydney, that Australian girl. I forgot her name. Sydney Watson, I think. It's a Sydney W. Yeah, Sydney Watson. She calls them LGBTs, and I like that. Peter says, Papa One says, hey Peter, how are you? How are you? And Peter says, I'm doing pretty good, thanks. I played some GTA 5 today. Well, that's got to hold you off for an entire year, Peter, because they're not releasing GTA 6 until this time a year from now. So it better be finished by then. It won't, but it better be. We have a med kit available. On Bolty, you can upgrade to armor piercing, and that is very convenient, let me tell you. On these guys. If I were doing this again, and I have done this again, I would just aim for a knee. Papa One says, I was watching some of the lefties losing it earlier today. After seeing some of those meltdowns, you realize no matter how bad you think you're doing, you're still mentally stable. Yeah, part of it is they can't handle confrontation. You know, they can't, you know, because they're not, their brains aren't trained to argue, you know, to debate really without, you know, it's like they will resort to influence or to insults and histrionics. They'll get emotional, you know. They won't start, you know, they'll start crying, or even if they're not crying, you know, it's like, and they'll, yeah, because they can't win on the facts, like go for a knee. And really that's the parents' fault. Well, okay, I would also argue that it's the school's fault too.
Joel, there's the exit.
Peter says, I only play offline. I have no plans to buy Grand Theft Auto 6. Yeah, I can't think of a new PS5 game that I'm looking forward to being released. I am going to get Stellar Blade. There was a John Wick game that looks interesting. It's called John Wick Hex, but I believe it's you have to download it. It's downloadable. It's PlayStation 5 or like on PS Now, and I had to set up a PlayStation account for so we could get the free game, which is called like Astro Boy's Delight or Astro something Playroom. So we'll play that. I'll show you a little bit of that footage on Sunday. Tomorrow's playthrough is just fooling around with the PS5 and hanging out with you guys. And I'll try to find some New York subway news for you, Papa One. Papa One says, I'm just going to say it. Parents don't parent properly anymore. They need to turn off the TV and electronics, sit down with their children, and hit them, LOL. Well, I saw this one video that you'll appreciate. You know, speaking of participation trophies, the only participation trophy that I approve of is there were Navy SEALs training on the beach, Papa One. And I know you don't care about squids, but you know they're the tip of the spear, and they're like running. They're running in full gear on in the surf. Okay. And there's a seal, an actual seal, who's like keeping up with them, like flopping around and just barking and acting like a dog. It's super cute. And that's the only participation trophy that I would agree with. An actual seal. Not Quantico. Why did I say Quantico? They're in San Diego. Coronado. I know it ended with an O. Aren't you happy I know, Papa One? Again, when you're not hit with enemies, you get mazes. And the best hint I would tell you in this game is just go towards the light. Also, someone's sleeping. Can you hear her? Can you hear her? She's not exactly snoring, but she's breathing heavily. She was very horsey smelling by the end of the week. Told her on Friday she needed a bath. And she likes she likes being dirty, but I think she also likes being clean. Papa One says, are you a military vet, superantonio? I am not, Papa One. I did not serve, but many members of my family, cousins, uncles, grandparents on both sides served. I would say I come from a military family. But I did not. It's like, but for a variety of reasons, because I was rebelling. I was rebelling from, against my, just my family. And I thought of myself as an artist. I was an artist. I was sensitive. I wanted to be a rock star. You don't understand, Mom. You don't get it. Yeah. I'd do things differently if I knew now what I know then, but it all worked out the way it was supposed to, I think. But yeah, I do. That is kind of a little regret of mine that I did not serve. But just a very small one. Peter says, not even one $500 to get a PS5 plus an extra $100 for a game. Yeah, that's a problem, Peter, is like every PS5 game is at least $50, which is ridiculous. Stellar Blade, $50. This game was $49. But Stray, which is a cat game where you play as a cat, that's like $20. We're gonna get Stray. Papa One says, well, during the past few years, my son has shown me Instagram reels of certain types of people who somehow made it through basic, and it is honestly worrying. Not anymore, Papa One, because your favorite president has reinstated all the old standards, and recruitment is at an all-time high because of it. So he's kicking all those people out.
You're not gonna leave me here, right?
Or inviting them to resign. Peter says, and GTA 6 could be over $100. No thanks. Yeah, they're not, it's not going to be $99.99. It's going to be like $104.99, $114.99. They're just going to keep pushing it. And what I hate about that, Peter, is all the other games, Sony, Naughty Dog, it's like they're all going to think that they can get away with charging, triple digits for a video game. And the only way you can make that model work is to sell consoles at a loss. Sell them for like a $300 console, a PS5 for $300, and then games, that's kind of the model that they use on cell phones now, with cell phone plans. It's it's like you get a new phone for free basically, and then you have to sign up for 2 years for the plan. At any rate, I don't want to push it. That's about all I have for you tonight, friends. I want to push it because we were able to keep this stream going for an hour. The algorithm was mad at us. Pop One says, just another reason to love number 47. He is my favorite president. What was I going to say? We shall return tomorrow night with another live stream where we're just going to play with the PS5. Shout out to the mods, Mama One and Papa One and Miko. I'm glad you were here. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties we had earlier. Next Saturday, we start a new playthrough of The Last of Us. So this is the last you'll see of this Joel. I did end up maxing him out in terms of health and weapons upgrades. I've played the game 7 or 8 times since then. At any rate, I appreciate all of you, friends. Thanks for being here. Great talking to you, Peter, and Cloudy, and Donut Lord. Thank you, friends. Like and subscribe. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday, and we shall see you again tomorrow night. See you soon, friends.
Careful.
I got you. I got it. Let's get out of here.
Hey, look, about Tess. I don't even know what
Here's how this thing's gonna play out. You don't bring up Tess. Ever. Matter of fact, we just keep our histories to ourselves. Secondly, don't tell anybody about your condition. They think you're crazy, they'll try to kill you. And lastly, you do what I say when I say it. We clear?
Sure.
Repeat it.
What you say goes.
Good. Now there's a town a few miles north of here. There's a fella there that owes me some favors. Good chance he could get us a car.
Okay.
Let's get a move on. Now, there we go. Yeah, it'll be faster to go through here.